What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about GTA 6. We got the official confirmation. It took, 12 hours when Jason Schreier published it. I told you could trust the guy, even though, many people don't like him, including me. But look, Rockstar tweets it out, right? It's happening. It's happening in early December. So Game Awards, I think, is a candidate, and we're going to talk about that, later on in this video. But before we get there, just kind of want to talk about the record-breaking kind of in motion, right? So already, I believe this is the most liked and maybe even the most viewed gaming tweet of all time. And I think that's only going to continue. I wouldn't be surprised if it cracked the top. I don't even know what the top 10 tweets of all time are. I think it could be it. And then here's the funny thing is the trailer, the tweet with the trailer, that'll be the biggest thing of all time. But why it's in motion is it's already breaking records. And I really think this trailer, when it drops, is going to be, and look, I'm not even that into into it like that, where it is the greatest thing of all time. I'm actually not really in that camp. I very much respect it. I cannot wait for GTA 6. I'm excited to see the open world kind of boundaries that they push and revolutionize in that way. But I can still say, as an observer in the way that I am, I think it's going to be the biggest thing on the internet for a while, for a very, very long time. I don't really know what could beat it, and I don't really know what would possibly still stand in its way after the trailer comes out. I feel like it would easily be the most viewed gaming trailer of all time, if not pushing other things. You have to get into music videos. You have to get into the Mr. Beast stuff. You have to get into some stuff on YouTube and TikTok and all these different places. But I think GTA 6 stands a chance to break almost every record that you can imagine for viewership and things like that, and that's going to be exciting. I wasn't around. I think a lot of people weren't around that you're watching now, communicating with now on Twitter and YouTube. So many of us were not around with GTA 5. Some were, but not everybody. And it's an honor and a privilege, to be able to do this with you for GTA 6. Okay, let's talk about if it's gonna be at the Game Awards. So I said yesterday, I've said before, look, I want it to happen selfishly for one reason, that I've been calling it for no joke a year, and I kind of want to be right. And now we're so close, because not only, you have the report, and you could either take it or leave it from Schreier, but now it's confirmed by Rockstar, and here's the thing, it's not even just December, right? What we heard was that, they would announce something GTA 6 related this week, and we would get a trailer in December. So, that opens it up. Now, you're not going to do a trailer towards Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, New Year's, right? It's not going to be that very end. And that's with the report, right? So now, obviously, when they confirm it, they say early December. So it's oh man, you can put some dates out there, right? First day of December through, I know technically you would maybe say December 14th. When do you consider mid-December? For me personally, I think mid kind of starts around the 10th or so of every month. Once you get past the single digits into the double digits, I don't really think you're early into the month. I think you're in the middle of the month. Now, that's my way of looking at it. It may not be everybody's way of looking at it. But okay, here's the kicker. The Game Awards is, I believe, on December 7th. It's right there. That week, right? Because I'm looking at the calendar right now. December 1st is a Friday. You're not going to do it on the weekend. And I really don't think you would do it on December 1st. So what you're probably looking at is the week of the Game Awards, whether it happens that day or it happens the day before, the day after, the Monday of, right? I think it's gonna happen the week of the Game Awards, even if it doesn't happen on the Game Awards date specifically. So what I want to do, I want to talk about kind of the pro reasons of why I think it makes sense, and then the cons why it doesn't make sense. As I've said, I really think it could happen. I want to give it a 50-50 split, but I really don't know. These people have made some very good points online. Let's start with the cons. Let's start with why you wouldn't do this, okay? There's really two big ones. Number one is Rockstar generally goes on their own. And we have been saying that. That should not be surprising. That shouldn't be shocking. Rockstar likes to do things on their own, and they don't need anybody's help. They can drop a Twitter post on a random Wednesday morning, and it could be the biggest Twitter post you've ever seen in gaming. And that's literally what we got. They could do the trailer on a Thursday at 12:52 p.m., and it would be the biggest thing you've ever seen. That's how big they are. That's how big GTA is. So they do not need the Game Awards. Check, okay? That is a valid reason, and I guess history, right? Like, they don't need Jeff. They don't need the Game Awards, and historically, they haven't gone down the big event path to announce things. They've always kind of done it on their own. Number two, I think could actually even be more important, is like Jeff's side of things. So look, do I think Jeff Keighley, if he was asked or if he was approached or whatever, right, to do the, GTA trailer, do I think he would ever say no to that? No. But I do like what he's kind of signaled in the past, and I think just as an industry in general, if you show the trailer for GTA 6 the very first time, now people have said, well, maybe you do it the day before, and then you show like a small little snippet at the Game Awards, right? That way it's not the biggest deal. It was already shown, and then you could just kind of double down on it. And I like that idea. I think that's a valid, I think that's a possible thing. Because the reverse of that, right, would be, okay, if you do the trailer for the very first time at the Game Awards, yes, it's the biggest thing of all time. And it's actually kind of a pro. You could look at Jeff and say, well, he wants eyes on it. It's the 10-year anniversary. You know he likes the numbers, right? Like, he would like it to be the biggest Game Awards show he's ever gotten, record-breaking streaming, record-breaking viewership, all this stuff, right? Like, we know he likes that. He wants that, right? So that would actually be a pro. But at the same time, the con would be, as an industry, is it actually the right move? Is it actually for the better of the industry to put it on the show? And I could, like, it's definitely mixed. It's definitely 50-50, and I absolutely get both sides. On one side, it's a game. It's a game that's releasing, and you're showing it off, and you have all eyes on it, and it would be absolutely massive, right? And that is a pro. The con would be you are overshadowing that's what I tweeted earlier today. You'd be overshadowing everything. Now, maybe not for somebody like me, right? Because like I'm excited for it, and it would definitely be like the first I guess I'd be live streaming it, but I'd make a video on it. Everybody would be talking about it. For me, I would also be talking about it, but I wouldn't discount the other announcements that are there. I'm really excited for the show, and I want to see what other things that he shows, and I would talk about those other things. But look, I am not the majority. In fact, I am the extreme small minority in this case. I don't think everybody would be like that, because while you would get record-breaking numbers, you would get people that are coming in just for GTA, and they would not care about anything else that you would show. So in a way, the numbers would, not fake. Like, like, it's tough because it's not necessarily that. They are real, but it's almost like inflated purposefully, where it's like, well, they're not there to watch the show. They could care less who wins Game of the Year. They could care less who wins Best Sound Design. They're there for GTA. They may not even stick around for the rest of the show. And then even from like an industry standpoint, everybody would just be talking about GTA, which is fine, and it would deserve people talking about it. But what about everything else that would happen at that show? It would absolutely push all those things down. And you'd have to ask yourself, not necessarily, us as the viewer or the consumer, but Jeff and the board. He's got the board of all these elite, gaming journalists and all these, members of, past gaming and stuff. Like, do they care? And they might care. They might say, well, yeah, it's big, but then, like, nobody would care about anything else. And I feel like that would be a part of it. Now, again, like, if they offered it to him, would he say no? I mean, I couldn't imagine being asked to do GTA 6 and Jeff saying, no, it wouldn't be right for gaming. And it's like, would you ever say that out loud, right? So I think he would accept it, but I do think it's a fair thing to ask in terms of, like, would Rockstar want to do that? Would Jeff want to do that? Would they want to, like, collaborate with each other? I agree with that mindset where, combined with, they never really do it. In the past, they've never really done it. They want to do it on their own, or they have done it on their own. Plus, it would overshadow everything. That's a pretty big con. That's a pretty big reason, I think, to assume maybe it doesn't show up at the Game Awards. Now, again, like, the good news is we're like a month away. It doesn't matter if it's at the Game Awards or the day before, day after. It's going to be, like, within the next month. So that's great at the end of the day, right? It's just, will I be right, on my prediction? Would we have to, like, assume, and everybody's got to get ready for the Game Awards day because, like, that's the big day. Here's the thing. If you don't do it before the Game Awards, everybody's going to assume it's the, what I mean? Like, they could do it the day after. It's the Thursday night, I believe. So you do it the Friday, and you could. And that would almost be trolling. That would absolutely be a troll because, you go into the Game Awards day and you say, well, they had like 6 other days to do it. They haven't done it yet. they're going to do it here. It's going to happen here. And they don't do it just to then do it the day after. And I think that's also possible. And it's going to be a fun week. That week is going to be extremely interesting to watch. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.